In this CamTwist Studio tutorial, I'm going to show you how to move objects around in the matrix and how that's going to affect your layering within a show. Now you see I've added a bunch of different objects inside of my matrix. I've got my camera, my cool images, my calendar, which we've been working with before, but I've also got a show open and a little bit of B-roll I found for Orion. This is what a typical space vidcast show would look like, and because we're trying to produce a television show for the internet, we want to be able to order these and manipulate these and make it just like you would be working inside of a regular television studio. To that end, I can move them around and layer them inside my matrix, much like I could do a dynamic matrix switcher, such as a DVS 9000 from Sony. The difference, of course, being a DVS 9000 is going to cost you about $250,000. CamTwist is free. So, advantage, CamTwist. All right, let's go ahead and start moving these around. I'm going to take my open. I'm actually going to sort these. I've got my open on the left side. I've got my camera here. I've got cool images. My calendar is going to go over here. Notice that as I move these further to the right, new objects are created. So I've always got one button further to the right, and above I've also got one button always a little bit higher. So if I keep moving it up, it always creates another row higher and higher and higher for me. And if I start moving them back down, it automatically deletes any unused rows up to the top or to the right hand side, so I can fit it all inside of the same interface. This is nice because this can be ordered and sorted just like my show is. For example, I've got, this is the first portion of my show, so I'll cut to my open.
NASA's moon base canceled. The Orion 6-person crew module also canceled. ESA moves forward with Vega, and STS-125's getting ready to launch. All that and a whole lot more coming up on this May 1st edition of Space Vidcast Live. Some of those stories are true.
Now, I'm running my open just like I would in a normal show. I place my camera in preview just as I would in a normal show. Now, normally we'd have another nameplate here, but now the open rolls just like so, does the thing. And now I can dissolve out of this and start doing my regular show. Ooh, I would normally dissolve much slower than that, but you get the idea. And okay, this is all great, and now I want to bring up my nameplate, and I want to have Space News ready to go, or I want to have my Space News sitting on top. This just isn't working right here, because I want to have this on top of Space News, which would be my normal chat room, but it's not working. You'll notice as I move it on top, as I move it to the layer above, it actually does move on top. This is what controls what's on top of what other element. In my preview here, you can see when I move this down, it gets cut off by the Space News animation. When I move it up, it doesn't get cut off. So if I want to cut to this really quick, boom. Does the cool little animation, and now I could, underneath the camera, again, we normally do 16:9, tweak that a little bit, do something there. And again, if I want to bring up my over-the-shoulder graphic, well, that's clearly wrong. That's not how I want it to work. So I would, you kind of move this around a little bit, make this go underneath here. Oops, that's because I moved Space News up. There we go. So now I could actually move over and have all of the elements on the screen in the proper layer order, so that I've got my Space Vidcast over the shoulder graphic going, I've got my nameplate at the bottom with the alpha channel, and I've got the webcam all on the screen at the same time. And now I want to clear all of that out, and I want to go to, let's say, some B-roll of Orion. So I'll click Clear and Orion, cut to that. And now I've got some Orion B-roll that I'm showing. So you can see it's very, very easy for me to just move inside the interface and relayer objects in real time. Just remember that whatever's up higher is up higher on the screen. So the higher I move this object, the higher it's going to show. It's going to show on top of other objects. So now it's on top of that, which is on top of that. And if I want to change that around, I put that on top of that. So now the over-the-shoulder graphics on top of Space News. Now this is going to be a messed up effect, but here. So you can see, so now you can see I've got nameplate on top of the over-the-shoulder graphic, which is on top of the Space News, which is on top of me, all in real time. There we go. Yeah. Slide into position there. Now, you'll also notice that I put these all on top of my element here. That's actually just a force of habit because these all relate to me. They don't have to be there. They can be anywhere horizontally you want them to be. Just remember that as you move these objects, they not only matter in vertical space, but also horizontal space as well. So when I go like so, actually we'll do, all right, so you can see that the nameplate is underneath the over-the-shoulder graphic. So whatever's further to the right is more on top than what's further to the left. So this is further up, and this is further up as well, if that makes sense. So you can actually see because this is further to the right, it's on top of nameplate. It's the same thing as pulling it up there or moving it over here. Now, it doesn't matter, just to make things even more confusing, if I move nameplate up here and it's even further to the right over here or even further to the left, it doesn't matter because it's on the row above. It's always going to be above this row of objects. So this is the background object for this row. This is on top of that for this row. This is on top of that for this row. But this row is always on top of the row below it. This is the background object for this row. This is the object on top of that. This is the object on top of that, and so forth and so on. The exception is of obviously this last row down here where they're all full screen. So you can't have a background object or foreground object. They're full screen. So there you go. That's how you move objects around in your matrix. It's very, very powerful. Makes it really easy to set up your show, get it all kind of lined up beforehand, almost pre-produce your show in a certain way, kind of build your timeline of your show right in your matrix before you go live, and then just start moving right through the show. Makes it really easy for one person to host the entire thing and switch it too.